Take 3. Clapboard. I need one of those. Will you give me one of those, please? Yeah. I wonder if the existing message is going to work. Alright, I'm going to try inviting everybody again. I'll just spam all my friends. Oh, did you hear that bug?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's my bug friend. Yeah, I just hang out with my bugs in here. It's cool. Oh, you can't do that. That's right. That's what this says. Alright. Hi, Nicole. I'm just going to keep saying hi. Any news? I guess you heard it before. I wonder why you'd be able to hear it and other people wouldn't. I don't know. Let's hear what Nicole says. We know she's going to give us the good news. Now they're silencing her. Volume is louder now. That's good. Okay, so maybe we're going to be good. We turned up my notifications, which would be weird, right, if that's what it was. Look.
Hi, Nicole.
See, we need the real talent. She's the real talent. I'm going to lose all these people. Give me, I'm going to wait to start rambling. Nicole, get these people back in here. Hi again, Carissa. Hopefully that's better. I'm sorry to do this. TikTok and me are like this. Super getting along. You know what's crazy is like, I want to be critical of TikTok for always shutting it down and banning me and stuff, but I mean, it's their platform, right? This isn't like a public space. Maybe when Trump makes his, maybe that'll be a more... How funny if you banned people too. That would show us who he is. Cool, RCG. Awesome. Yeah, it was nice to see her. I try and get her on here. It's amazing. She's just model pretty. Always has been. I was thinking, I know we talked about the gut bacteria yesterday, but it kind of stoked my fire for the medical establishment and the entire health situation. And between what I've been through and what I've been through with people I know and love, and what somebody very close to me who may have just been in this room witnessed as a medical billing coder, we've got a major problem. And it's not a China-owned thing. Yeah, I think TikTok's America's buying it, so it's probably Zuckerberg and Dorsey are working together on it. So I don't know if you caught the video I released today. I'm starting to respond. When I made the gut microbiome video, I had a lot of younger people reach out to me and basically say, please tell me the how and the why. Because in my video I said I'm not going to get into how or why here. And I had a lot of responses. Please tell me the how and why. And like, honestly, between PTSD legitimate that I've faced about the medical establishment, that I face, I guess, and the potentiality of being banned, I'm like leery. It's hard for me to talk about it. But what I would like to do is try and get them in here. So I tagged the girl in a comment. I don't know if it's possible for you guys to tag this person, but I really have a heart for wanting to reach her specifically. And let me get her pulled up here really quick. This is me talking, over me talking. This is the person. Her name is somewhere on here. Jessica A4, I think. Right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but her name is Jessica A4. I know it's backwards, and you can't see it, but it says, "You should get into it for us. Help me." And, maybe it's the Star Wars fan in me with the Princess Leia, "Help me, Luke." But I want to help her. I want to help all these people. I'm not sure I can, because it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you need to know your enemy, but like, is it possible to fight them? It reminds me a little bit of the economic system and the one world government that's coming, and hyperinflation and all of these things. We talked about the other day. You're not going to, when Nebraska was on here. Speaking of which, I'm going to try and get him in here too. We talked about the other day that you're not going to beat them particularly. So really all you want to do is try and manage yourself, your family, of course, Nebraska Paranormal isn't in here. I can't invite anybody. Like, I've got like 12 people I can invite, and it sucks because she set 2 accounts up and it's working to get her. Okay, cool. Yeah, sweet. Is that in here? So what I try and tell people to do is to manage their self, manage their person, manage their family, their house, right? That's all we can really hope to do. And when it deals with what the air you breathe and the water you drink and the foods you eat, and it's everywhere, and the medicine you're supposed to take, how do you beat it, right? How do you fight it? And what I'm hoping to do is bring attention to it, try and detail out in 49 minutes how the system is working, what it's doing, and what we can look for and what we could potentially do to restore at least our gut biome and opt out of VACCINES. And if we can get to growing some of our own food, and up here we're on well water, which is we're avoiding fluoride, but the problem with that is there's some crazy chemicals they're spraying on the plants up here that may be just as bad as glyphosate, and it just hasn't been revealed yet. So here's where it starts, right? We're all, I don't know, age range here. I'm not sure the age range here. But let's just say hypothetically I'm 43. And that means I was born in 77. And I had a totally different vaccine schedule than what's going on nowadays. And, I said the word. I'm trying not to say the word. How did this happen? How do we get so many more vaccines? And I want to start this off because when I'm done with this video, just so you guys know, I'm going to post it on my YouTube. So this lady, I can reach out to her and give her this information. So even though she may not be here, hopefully she does show up. I'm going to be able to get this to her eventually. So do you think our bodies have somewhat adjusted to not letting the fluoride? No, I don't at all. And I think that video that I just posted, the one before the one, okay, I posted one today, the one before that about the gut microbiome. The story is that science, I can't vet this, right? I always say science says, so like, I didn't do this myself. I don't have access to it, but recently science nutritionists, genetics, I think it's geneticists, they found fossilized fecal matter and they analyzed it and they looked at it through obviously a microscope or electron microscope or whatever, and they analyzed the gut bacteria, and there was gut bacteria in there that we'd had no idea what it was. Like, they'd never seen it before, and it was so much more diverse. So 2,000 years ago, the gut bacteria was more diverse, and now we're talking about the general population. Obviously, there's people, potentially unfortunately like myself, that the gut biome's really bad, but there's people that it's better. But looking at a standard healthy person, it's so much less diverse than it was 2,000 years ago. Let me double check this here. Hello, Top. Lisa, do you think they are adding more of it now? I think the first thing we have to talk about, okay, I was going to talk about VACCINES, and we'll get to that, but with the fluoride thing, it's a byproduct or a waste product from some sort of mining operation, from what I understand, and they didn't know what to do with it, and so they were like, well, let's just put it in the public water. Yeah, and everybody cheered, right? And we all know it's bad. There's the idea, Alex Jones used to always talk about how it's designed to keep you placated or docile and not be able to critically think and domesticated instead of feral. It potentially does that, and it could do that through the gut bacteria. Gut bacteria is diverse, and each strain does something slightly different. So if fluoride wipes out the part of the gut bacteria that makes you feral, then Alex Jones was right. I don't know. But no, they're putting it in there, and they're going to keep putting it in there. And I know people personally who have ran for city council and tried to go in and get it out, and there has been some townships that have actually voted to get it out of the water. But you're fighting the masses. So like the crazy conspiracy theorist gets into city council, right? And he says, I want to take out fluoride in the water. And what do you think everybody says? It's good for your teeth. My teeth. Like, do you think that these guys ever just come up with shit just to see what you'll believe? I feel like they do that. Like I said in one of my videos, sometimes they just try to see what kind of dumb shit you're going to believe. Oh, it's good for your teeth. Okay, wait. It's good for my teeth. the fluoride's good for my teeth as I drink it, and then it goes into my stomach, and then what? How long? Why can't I just gurgle it and spit it out? Why am I ingesting this shit? It's good for my teeth. Okay, so are you saying that it goes into my digestion and then sends teeth, helper cells up to my mouth? No. Let me swish it and spit it out. You know what? Let me have a choice. Let's start there. How about if I want to have fluoride water, how about I put my own fluoride in? Sounds like a good idea. The city could send you packets of fluoride and you could mix it in with your water if you wanted it, instead of forcing it on everybody. I'm going to catch up on some messages here really quick. I think there's a way, moderator, can you maybe record live? So I'm recording the lives, our TikTok does, and I'm downloading them and putting them up to YouTube, so I'm doing that now. I've been fluoride free for 5 years, Nicole says. I don't even use fluoride. Yeah, and did your teeth fall out? Did your teeth fall out of your head? No, big shocker. Ridiculous. In the veterinary field, we use VX. Okay, yeah, I like it, VX. Thank you, Tina. VX, I'll try to, because I want to get through this. I was watching a guy named Chris, his channel is Adverse Events, and he was, when all of those, the flood of, it was him and Houston Hefner that were getting all of the events. They weren't reporting it on the media, all of the VX reactions from COV, and they were posting them on there, and they had hundreds every day and thousands, and people were saying, why isn't anybody talking about this? Like, why? Anyways, I watched him do a live, and he was getting really into, there was like 120 of us or something, and he was getting into how it was it was a mutation of HIV and whatever. Anyways, I don't want to say what he said, but we were watching it. We were all watching it, and we watched him pull the plug on him. So I don't want that to happen. Let's see here. I was just literally thinking about this today. Cool, Nicole. Good that we're still syncing up. How did you manage eliminating it? I hope I can see this here. Awesome. If you post anything, I'll definitely check it out. Funny, I changed my toothpaste today. We're good. There's some synchronicities. Get a water filter. Fluoride-free toothpaste. Don't drink taps anywhere. Yep. You have to cleanse your system. Drink filtered water. Use Tom's natural toothpaste. Yep. My problem is a filter. I don't have the funds. Yep. I haven't had a cavity in 5 years. Yeah. So, and look, I consider myself a skeptical conspiracy theorist and a rational thinking conspiracy theorist. And what do I say? A rational thinking conspiracist and a skeptical man of faith. I don't try and be super dogmatic. I try to let the information lead it to what I believe is source, which is God, and it's always true. And then you watch this Luciferian system play out, and it's like, okay, well, you know, this is what's happening. But with fluoride, I can see doing a fluoride rinse, right? Maybe. Put it in your mouth. Some wild bug trying to get in here. Some crazy, you know, just some amount of fluoride in your mouth. Switch it around, spit it out, really rinse your mouth out. Try not to ingest it. That's much better than just putting it in the water. I drink alkaline water. Nice. Okay, that's good. We moved to the country and, you know, got on well water, which I was really excited about. And we had it tested. And we're on an artesian spring, which is one of the things that we're really excited about. And then this guy up here that owns a CBD shop stopped me the other day, and we were talking about it, and he was like, yeah, there's something really bad in there. You got to test for it. It's like a $4,000 test, and it's all in here. And then the farmers around here, we asked them to tell us when they're spraying, because it's like, oh, we live, you know, with all this nice farmland, and it's beautiful. And now there's just like this crazy chemical they're potentially using. So I made in the video the things that are causing the gut flora destruction, and fluoride is one of them. And glyphosate is one of them. I mean, we all know glyphosate is bad, yeah? I didn't know until I started doing this research. People asked me to help them, and I knew my intuition and the data that I had seen, so I started looking into it. This is how you do this, truth seekers. You know, we're researching, right? We're searching somebody else's information. You've got to listen to, you know, at one point it was Kent Hovind and Alex Jones and Rob Skiba and J.R. Church before that and Chuck Missler, and you get all these people and you fill your brain up. Because God made our brains with unlimited, we have cloud storage information in our brain. It never fills up. You could listen to 1 billion songs, learn every lyric, and you're never going to run out of information. So absorb all the information you can. And then you have to run it through your filters. And you have to figure out, you know, is flat earth a thing? Is QAnon a thing? Is, you know, are they a thing? You got to do the research for yourself, because, you know, I could be wrong. I feel convicted about what I believe, and our son is 6 and he's hasn't been VX'd, and he's the healthiest, smartest thing I've ever seen. He's so far ahead of his mother and I when it comes to quick processing. And I'm 5'8", he's going to be 6'2", they're saying. And not that I care what they think, and he hasn't been to a DR in 5 years. Sorry, 7, not long, it's been alive, so 5 years. Anyways, but he was charting to be that tall, and he's tall. Anyway, so it's working so far. You know, you take these things, you apply it to your life, you pray about it. You don't just listen to me. You know, I would hate to say, don't get the measles VX, and then you get measles and die. Although I'll tell you, if you get measles, you're not going to die, because nobody dies from it at all. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. You don't die from that. You don't die from it at all. They used to have measles parties because it was just a big inconvenience, and everybody in town would get together for the birthday party, so all the kids would get it at once, so everybody wasn't sick every week for the whole year. Let's see here. I'm gonna catch up here. I don't know why they didn't call it conspiracy. Yeah, it is, Lisa. What's glyphosate? I'll do that in 1 second. Same with my daughter. She's 10. Not bad. Yeah, totally. It's unbelievable. We're all disabled to a level. I mean, from a de-evolution standpoint, from the fact that we're so many generations away from source, from Adam and Eve, from a degradation of information, which is a thing. I've heard that the reason computers run hot is because energy is, like, files are being deleted, and that energy has to leave somehow. I know that's a weird thought, but if you research computer science, apparently there's some validity to it. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a degradation of information, and that's possibly to blame for why we're being dumbed down. Fluoride, VAX, the whole thing. It's a multi-spectrum, multifactorial, full spectrum attack on humankind. That's one of the things that Alex Jones did, you know, really get right. He's got a lot right. Again, I veered off there when he got really political, only because I didn't see a political solution to a spiritual problem. But and he got really into supplements, and some of the supplements are good. So whatever, I'll stop talking about Alex Jones. But he got, you know, he really kind of made that point that it's not just the like people think the government. Like when one of my brothers, who was an architect, who was not a conspiracy theorist at all, really rich, well-falutin guy, whatever, highfalutin guy. He did the research on 9/11 and saw that architecturally the buildings don't disintegrate and fall into the ground like that. And so he goes, wow, that was something else. And he was researching and really passionate about it. It was even like handing DVDs out. And then I saw him a couple months later, and I said, hey, where are you at with 9/11? Excited he was on our camp. And he basically said, I bailed on that whole thing. Like, I couldn't do it. And I said, why? And he goes, well, because I can't run around living my life thinking that the government did that to us. Why would they do it? I said, it's not the government. You know, that's the thing. It's you want to say it's this or this or this. And if you're a conspiracy theorist, like Zeitgeist, in my opinion, is the most guilty of it. If you watched his movies, he wants to pin all of the, you know, put all the information together, but he wants to do it without religion because he's mad at religion, because he's mad at the religious system or mad at God or something. But when you piece this whole thing together, which is the how video that the why video that I'm working on for tomorrow, it's entertainment, it's media. It's education, it's healthcare, it's big agro, it's big meat, it's the whole thing. And like, if you can't see that at that very top they're working together to create exactly the world system that we're walking into, then you don't love information as much as I do, or searching for the truth anyways. Let's see here. So this is more. My grandson hasn't received any vaccine at all, and he's never once been sick. Yeah, crazy, right? Look for a used filter. Oop, now I'm trying to message Chloe. Thank you. Yes, Berkey's a great idea. I never took any flu shots, never got COVID or a Cisco. Yeah. I mean, that I probably, again, being a skeptical person, Lisa, I probably wouldn't say that the flu, getting this flu vaccine impaired you, although it could have. It could have definitely affected your immune system, so that's a possibility, but I think that would be probably more just coincidental. So my two sisters, they always get their flu shots. They got COVID. Wow, look at that. Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, look, let me just, this is just off the top of my head, and this isn't to discredit either of your guys' theories, but let me just give you a counter argument to that. What if the kind of person who trusts the establishment so blindly that they get the flu shot, like, are you fucking kidding me? Who cares? It's the flu. You get the flu and you get over it. You just move on. It's like, oh, I got the flu. It sucked. At least before COVID, that's how we used to think. So if you're the kind of person that's so afraid that you're going to get the flu, and even though the flu vaccine has been shown to not only not be effective, but to get you sick, not always, but it can, So you're willing to take that, like, to me, that's your litmus test right there. If the person is so afraid of getting the flu and so trusting the establishment that even though they could get the flu by getting it, and or it may not work because they might not have the right variant, they're still going to get it. That person is bought and sold, stamped. Boom. They are cheap. They're done. Gone. We'll never reach them. Pray for them. And this doesn't mean, your sisters and cousins and stuff, sorry. They might be reachable and keep trying. But I'm just saying, if you're that kind of person, you buy the narrative, you're scared to death of this COVID thing. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You were the person with 3 masks, right? And not going anywhere. And every time you sneezed, you went, fuck, this is it. This is it. I got it. This is it. So I'm just saying that's a counter narrative to that idea. Not that the flu shot led to that, but that the person's mental state was such that, they had watched too much CNN, and they were all fired up about it, and they got it. So whatever. Yeah, Randall's mom, who, by the way, is Karen. That's a claim. But my buddy I was in a band with for years and years and years back in Denver, really talented musician. His mom is the CNN Karen, literally short hair, just militant. Said her grandkids couldn't see her if they didn't get vaccinated, get VX'd. And her name is Karen. It's hilarious, and her and I don't get along. Never did. Mask, shield, and goggles. So funny. That was me when it started. Yeah. And look, I just said I'm skeptical. Like, the mask, that's so hot. Guys, this is a time for me to apologize for the A shirt. I almost called it by the slang name. I was going to wear this here, and it's just too hot, so whatever. Hopefully it's not too trashy. I'm going for Trashy Science Guy award. The mask, I don't think it works. But it could, right? Look, don't lose me, guys. Stick with me for a minute. Between the combination of placebo effect, the combination of potentially catching some particulate, I'm not going to say it has no chance of working. I'm going to say I don't think it works, and I don't think the risk reward is there. I don't think it's there to breathe dirty oxygen and I'm always fiddling with it. It barely fits over this big Jewish nose of mine, and I'm like trying to make it work. And so, like, I would prefer not to wear a mask. But maybe somebody sneezed, and maybe it did prevent a little bit. I don't know. But that's where the media always gets an in, is there's maybe a slight bit of truth in the whole thing. Now, the issue is mandating it, right? That's the issue. Like, it's America, and you should be able to wear whatever you want to wear. And that was the issue. And we all know now, it goes along with the talk that I'm intending to have as I distract myself and interrupt myself, is that this whole thing is leading to getting you to accept the COVID-VX. This whole thing is a setup for that. And that is either the precursor for, or in some sense, mutating down the road, the mark of the beast. And so, the mask thing was just really about getting you conditioned to, well, hold yourself accountable, everybody wear the thing, and trust the science, right? Like, think about that. I mean, how brilliant of conditioning was that? Trust the science. Trust the science. Can't trust the science means shut off your critical thinking capabilities. That's what it means. Don't think just whatever we say, believe whatever the fuck we say. That's what it means. And so they're like, you gotta wear it. You gotta wear 2 of them. I mean, it's like absurdum, right? They took it to a level of absurdity that was just unbelievable. Wear 3, Fauci, and now he's like some weird criminal. Nobody put him on TV because he was lying the whole time, whatever. So, and I know, not to get political, but I know Trump was always like, I don't like you, Fauci. Let me catch up on some messages here really quick. Why are you apologizing? I don't know. Just a people pleaser. Makes me look so cool. Yeah. Wear a hood and a mask and look like a ninja. Wear a mask while they're sleeping. Oh my god. I've never heard of that. But how do you like the people to wear them in their cars? Or like when you're in nature, you're out and about and you're not wearing one and they're like, that's funny. That's funny, right? That's hilarious, Chloe. Yeah, it's kind of fun walking around. Like, I'm conflicted about it because we can walk around up here with no masks now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not afraid. And then I think exactly what she did. I'm like, are they thinking that I did that? Did you guys see the magnet thing? Where the magnet sticks to the arm? How about that shit? Not good. Let's see here. Yeah, blindly trust the science. Just like people, yeah. DDT, yeah, DDT. That's really interesting. Have you guys seen? Is it The Moth and the Iron Lung? Have you read that book? It's all about how the polio epidemic was totally fabricated. It was actually a result of DDT, and the whole like people dying from polio and the vaccine was all just coronavirus back then. It was just coronavirus 80 years ago, 100 years ago, whatever, 80 years ago. Crazy. I don't know if it's true or not, but it would make sense. And that, you know, the people that got really sick weren't getting polio. They were just being malformed by DDT because they lived near farms. Yeah, the mask thing. Hi, Tina. Dude, I'm with you, Chris, on the magnet thing, but people that I trust are saying that it's a real thing, and they're not like anti-vaxxers. Magnet what? Yeah, it's really, that's wild, Nicole. I didn't know they were sticking the nose. The injection site, some people put a magnet there and a magnet will stick. Oh no, Lisa, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Rich. Wait. I did that to my boss and it didn't work. The magnet didn't stay, are you saying? I saw videos. Yeah. Whatever. It's just, that's like fun. Like, look, if you're not going to get it or not get it because of the magnet thing, you should get it or not get it because you believe that your immune system needs to be rewritten for a thing that, you know, if you have a good sufficient level of vitamin D and are taking care of yourself and getting good vitamins and minerals, you're going to be fine. That's just, you know, that's the thing. And then state imposed, and we know where this is going. I actually kind of want to go back. It's so fun talking with you guys about this to critical-minded people, but the idea of starting this was going to be, you know, from birth to where we're at now, how this got so bad and how we can help people. And the first part of it was really going to be the other VXs, the ones that seem very trivial now, don't they? Yeah, I've heard the placebo vaccine thing. Yeah, that's brilliant, Nicole. Okay, so now that this pandemic swept the nation, whatever, people are, this bug. Can you hear that? It sounds like somebody's outside with a taser. Dude, Maine has the craziest bugs. I can only imagine what that is. It's probably like a bat-sized black fly. It's distracting me. All right, so now that the coronavirus thing has come through, I don't think people are as serious about measles and diphtheria and tetanus and pertussis and all these things, right? I don't know what it is, Nicole. I just know that I'm just glad I can't see it. Because it's horrifying. I can promise you that. One night, I was out here and I put a bug zapper out just to see if it would get the bugs. And it was a horror movie. I went out, this is last year, and the thing lit, and the entire universe was covered in bugs. Everything. The shovels and the rakes and the yard. I was like, I'm returning that tomorrow, and I did. Yeah. Okay, so logic is the people that could, yeah. Okay, so that's a good thing to talk about. If you Google, whether or not you're able to receive and transmit the virus if you've had it, the answer is yes, you still can. It doesn't change. It's not a shield, right? It's not like, stay away. CV, stay away. It's not like that. It rewrites how your DNA creates spike proteins. It's a response. It's a guy in the battlefield going, all right, you guys go here, you guys go there, and it changes the plans, right? You still get it. You still got it on you, on your person, and you're still shedding it. So this whole well, you don't have to wear a mask if you don't have a vaccine. It's just nonsense. The whole thing is nonsense, and we know that. No microchips in the vax. No, not at all. I don't think so at all. So basically, here's what my take is on it. I think that it can run the gambit of being innocuous and not having any ill effect. Well, that's not true. We already know it's killed a lot of people. Okay. So we know that it has the potentiality of doing serious, immediate, permanent damage. And part of that that's really hard for me is when somebody that's like 18 or 20 gets it and expires. And it's like you were never going to get it, COV. You were never going to get it, and you weren't going to die of it if you did. And now you're gone because you trusted the establishment. It's frustrating. So anyways, I don't think it's a microchip. No, I think it's a DNA rewriting thing, which, my students of scripture in here will know this, as it was in the day of Noah, right? Genetic manipulation, genetic engineering, rewriting God's instruction book. And it may or may not help you with it if you were to get COV. Another guy in the band, the same band I was in, might actually have died this week of it. I'm waiting to hear back from him, and he hasn't texted me back. I said, please let me know you're alive, and he hasn't texted back, so he might have. I lost a couple of employees at the golf course. I know people got really sick of something in this vein and died, so maybe the vaccine helps some people, maybe it doesn't, but I can tell you this. I was listening to the radio up here, and we get the New Brunswick, Canada radio station, and the guy got on and said, there's a lot of concern in New Brunswick today as 4 people who had the vaccine died of COV. And I researched it, and apparently there's a side effect or a backfiring that can happen with this, where the rewriting of the protein thing, which was supposed to like get you superpowers and be able to avoid it, reverses course, and now you get like triple coronavirus. So that's like something I'm not interested in. And look, we're vitamin and mineral deficient. That has to do with gut bacteria. Like, go to a functional medicine doctor and have him run your... don't even do that. Go online, Biome, Let's Get Checked, Thrive. There's all these places online. You can do like a full health analysis. Your gut microbiome, your nutrient absorption. If your vitamins and minerals are right, it's not going to matter. That's why so many people don't die of this thing. Simple. Dude, I just replaced my alternator. We've been talking about this all week. PTSD about it. It wasn't running. And when the alternator doesn't run correctly, the battery runs out of battery and it doesn't charge, and you're like, you burn through batteries. It dies. It's just what happens. It's easy. Fix your alternator. You're fine. Oh, the muffler. There's a thing. It's all cause and effect. And there's a physiology. It's the same thing. And rather than being taught that, we're taught eat whatever dumb shit you want to eat. And then when you're sick, go to the doctor and they'll give you a fucking antibiotic. I got a story. This might sum up the whole rigmarole I was going to get into, Monsanto and glyphosate. By the way, was that answered? The person that said, what's glyphosate? It's Roundup. It's what they put on weed. It's what they put, ironically, on dandelions. Shout out to CPT for getting that video out. They're supposed to spray this body-destroying chemical on your dandelions. It turns out dandelions like fight cancer and you fix your heart and stuff. So big shocker. But yeah, glyphosate strips the soil, strips your gut biome. But rather than going, Tenpenny, Lisa Tenpenny started doing that before it was cool to do that. And she was a renowned teacher. I think maybe she was an administrator. And she got in a lot of trouble for that. And Tenpenny's awesome. Is there anything I need to catch up on here? Thank you guys for writing. I'm going to just keep going, because if I read all these, I'm going to get distracted. So sorry, guys. I'll try and get in. Hopefully you guys are talking amongst each other. So when I was working at the golf course, and I got to be careful with names here, but I had an employee whose nephew, the employee was a retired police officer, real militant guy, but I loved him. Really, I hired him. He's a great hire, great employee, seasonal guy. It was a retirement kind of mountain chic place up in Colorado. And the guy had a nephew, and he goes, my nephew's not doing very well. Wait till you guys hear this story. And I had just gone through something similar with my digestion. I don't know if I should start there. No. So he's not doing well. I'm going to go down and see him. He goes down to Colorado Springs and sees him. The kid's like 23 or something, the teacher 25. And the employee comes up and he goes, he's dying. He's the Walking Dead. I've never seen anything. I know he's dying. And we got to get him help. So they sent him down to the local hospital who ran the blood test, and the blood test came back he had leukemia. So they rushed him down to the Sky Ridge in Colorado, and they immediately, what's the first thing they do? Anybody want to guess? Antibiotics, right? Antibiotics. Well, this is where I have to pause the story and go back a little bit. With my situation, it was gut-based. I was on Bactrim, and it almost killed me. They wanted to put me in the hospital. My white blood cell count was what they said, chemo level low. And they were like, you need to go to the hospital. And I said, I don't want to go to the hospital. I said, the only thing that's changed is I've been put on this Bactrim. Get me off the Bactrim, and I'll come back with a blood test in like 2 days. He goes, no, you need to be back in 24 hours. And if your white blood cell count isn't up, we got to get you in because you're going to die. And I got off the Bactrim, and I did some research and ate a lot of salt, and the next day I was better. And he's like, well, that worked. You got lucky. I'm like, you mean I got lucky that I told you how to do your fucking job? And God loves me, and it was your stupid antibiotic? Anyway, so pause back in, time out back in. They take Jonas down. They go, this guy's got leukemia. His blood cell count's low. White blood cell count's low. We know it. Antibiotics, first thing they do, right? I'm telling this employee of mine, I'm saying, dude, it's digestive. It's digestive. I have a strong feeling. He's lost weight. He's probably got leaky gut. He's probably got some digestive stuff. Well, when they diagnosed him with leukemia, all that went out the window, and I still had a feeling. I kept saying, dude, be careful. They got him on an antibiotic. That's the worst thing they could do. If this is digestive, if I'm right, if he's got lupus or something, this is the worst thing they could do. So the guy starts to spiral out of control. Put him on life support. The new tests come back. Guess what? Anybody want to guess? He didn't have cancer. He didn't have leukemia. It was a misdiagnosis. He had lupus. And they fucking gave him antibiotics. And now, his body's shutting down. His immune system started attacking his brain. Gut's totally out of whack. Right? And the whole time I'm telling him, I'm like, you have to get him out of there. You have to get him on a drip. He wasn't able to. You have to get him on some good whole food drip. There is that stuff. If you have anybody that's on a tube drip, there's like whole food plant-based drips. Chloe can attest to this whole thing. So they start giving him steroids to cut down the inflammation. And I'm just watching this car crash. The kid's 23, and I kept telling him, like, they're going to kill this guy. You got to get him out of there. Well, you're going to love this. Oh, yeah. Totally. I told them you have to do this. And they were like, what with the doctors? Anyways, listen, it gets worse. Guess what their next step was? Anybody, if you're following this story. So he had a digestive issue. They put him on antibiotics. They put him on a high potency steroid, and it wasn't working. Anybody want to guess what they did next? Yes, 100%, Lisa. I've been dealing with a lot of that. Hardcore Health, Gus, are you here? If you heard that, the next thing they put him on was chemo. Okay? He didn't have cancer. He had a digestive issue. And they're so far behind in Google. Like, do some research. Please, for the love of God, watch one episode of Josh Axe or Dr. Axe or what his name is. Please, I promise you, Hardcore Health Gus has more information and wisdom related to this. They're going down their book, and they're just killing this guy, right? So, terrible story. Some miracle, he doesn't die. There was like 2 or 3 nights there where it was like they were going to pull the plug, and now he fell in love with his nurse, and they're both gluten-free, and he's living a super healthy, triumphant life, and it's amazing. And I did what I could from the sidelines to try to stop it. I cried with this guy. I prayed with him. And he was so upset when he didn't listen to me. When he went, he's the Walking Dead. I got to get him in. And I said, dude, it could be digestive. Go see a functional medicine doctor. Get his bacteria. It could be an easy fix. It could be like seriously like yogurt or something, like kefir. I don't know, something. And he didn't. And they did everything they could to kill the guy. And it happens all the time. Yeah, you did, Lisa. Isn't that? I couldn't believe it. My wife went through this whole. He was my employee, and I was really caring about the guy, and it was tragic. And there, by the grace of God, go I, right? Because they put me. I had a condition that's come and gone called prostatitis, where there's inflammation of the prostate, and nobody knows what it is, but it's just I have an inflammation-based thing that I'm dealing with that has to do with the gut, and so doctors freak out. They're like, we got to make sure it's not cancer. That's the first thing they all think about, right? And so they confirmed that it wasn't. And they're like, well, we got to get on antibiotic in case it's a bacterial infection. So they put me on antibiotic, and I started crashing. My gut bacteria was already bad, and then it went way worse. And so that's why I put on my last video, like, don't do an antibiotic unless it's absolutely necessary. Like your hand is gangrene or something. Like I don't even know what would be the thing. I understand it helped people, or at least look at this. I understand that that's what they told us. I don't know now. I don't know at all. It's hard for me to believe anything. Yeah, everybody was dying. And then they came up with penicillin and it saved the earth. Did it? Did that even fucking happen? Anybody know? What did they save them from? What did they save the earth from? Diarrhea? They didn't cure the bubonic plague with it. I'm serious. Like, that's what I want to Google. I will bet you $5 each person here. It's $60 if I lose it. No, that's too much. I'll bet you $1 each. 12 to 1 odds that the thing that they're telling you that they created antibiotics for, the epidemic, the whatever, was a false flag attack. Or wasn't organic. Yeah, large infection. Okay. War. So war was the problem. Anyways, whatever. I know there's a place for antibiotics. Look, there's a place. But when they started giving it out like, K at a party, it became a problem. It's just you can't. It's not. No, it's bad. And it kills bacteria, good and bad. So, and then, you ladies know this probably. Birth through the birth canal. Super important. Really kind of a gruesome thing for everybody to have to think about, but it's an amazing miracle that God made the woman as a transformer, and they do this thing, and the body changes, and they make this amazing transition, get this baby out. Well, that trip through the birth canal provides the baby their gut bacteria, or a large part of the gut bacteria, and then the colostrum, we talked about that the other day. But women are having designer C-sections. I want to talk about that for a second. I just made my iPad through a hole in the... Anyways, I get... After watching... Okay, so my wife was preeclamptic. Which meant that if she would have gone on any longer, it could have been really bad for her. That you can die of being too pregnant, and that's what she was. And we had a really good doctor, and she didn't scare us. And once we had the baby, she's like, good timing, because that was getting really serious. My wife's little. Our son was 8 pounds and change. The most amazing thing I've ever seen. And honestly, it factored into the decision of us not having a second child, that I didn't want to see her have to go through that again. So I'm not marginalizing this. But we're living in a time where people can choose to not have their baby so they don't have a scar, so they don't get stretch marks. We live in a time, we did an epidural, I'll talk about that in 1 second. We live in a time where women choose not to breastfeed. And this isn't to condemn anybody if they did it, because they want to save their breasts. And I get that. Look, I'm not a woman, and I do believe in that that's not my grounds, right? If my wife would have chose to do that, I would have supported her as best I could have. Thankfully she didn't, and her body recovered amazing. She looks great. So I get that there's the thing there, but just think about that as a society. I was raised on formula. It's not just celebrities. No, I know. People with money. I know a lady that did it, and she's, her husband makes $250,000 a year, so maybe it's an amount of money you make, whatever. But I was formula fed, unfortunately, because in 1977, my mom chain smoked. I was born 6 weeks premature. And I'm sure in 1977, the Fox CNN of 1977 said, revolution in child rearing. Formula. Gives you way more nutrients that you never give your child through your breast. By the way, you evolved this, and we're probably de-evolving breastfeeding, right? Boobs are vestigial organs. I'm sure they said some dumb shit like that. I'm sorry, guys. It's hot. I'm hot. They said that, some version of it, and if you just have this amazing formula, your baby will be a super baby. Guess what the formula was? It was like high fructose corn syrup and cornflakes or something. Garbage. Anyways, for a long time there was generation that was, lost to formula. However many years that was. And now it's like, turns out breastfeeding is really good. I've got an article I gotta pull up that somebody was shaming us for saying that breastfeeding was natural. You believe that? Anyways, so yeah, C-section, formula, antibiotics, fluoride in your water, glyphosate before you knew GMOs were hailed. GMOs were according to Bill Gates, they were going to save the earth because of overpopulation. I remember reading those articles. You know where I remember reading those articles? Rich, you'll like this. On a Sunday cartoon, Bill Nye had a section in the Sunday cartoons, the Sunday morning cartoons in the newspaper, if you know what a newspaper is and what the comics are. He had Bill Nye the Science Guy cartoon, comic, whatever. Did I say cartoon? Comic, thank you. The Sunday morning comics that came in the newspaper, Bill Nye had a comic strip, and I read that on there in probably 91. It's probably 13 or 14. And it was, maybe it's younger, it doesn't matter. This new genetically modified plant was going to save the earth from overpopulation. How do you think that fits in a 1991 13-year-old's head? Let's see here, I'll catch up a little bit here. They made NAC, yeah, the NAC thing is brutal. Hear about co-farmers being given money to waste their food so they can, yeah, I haven't, but that doesn't surprise me at all. People stop destroying land and people farm more, there'd be a ton of food for all. Yeah, especially the right kind of farming practices, right? BNA, the guy with the big degree, yeah. Bill Nye, he's my enemy. Bill Nye, I challenge you to a duel. Duel of intellect. Duel of wits. Duel of the truth. Asshole. Sorry for all the cussing tonight. Bear sheep property. Bill. Bill Nye. Right? Anyways, it doesn't matter. We know how it works, right? You get a guy like that and he'll say whatever they want them to say, and the kids read it and go, oh, he's a science guy. Yeah, Bill Gates is crazy. Did you see the video of Bill Gates walking across the street with a rack? Anybody see that video on TikTok? It's wild. Yeah, Nye is just a puppet. Gates might be the puppet master. A lot of times the farmers' kids just sell out and hand the farm over. Cold Springs Harbor. Is that where it was? Alright, so, okay. I was trying to make this video specific to the young lady who asked how this happened, and I've been jumping around like I do. I'm going to have to really edit these down to stay on a cogent point. Maybe I could take my video and have Chloe cut out all of the things and re-edit it so it's like I follow a thing instead of ADD river that I go down every time. Oh yeah, sweet. Yeah, no, I know Gates, yeah. Gates' dad was tied in, Zuckerberg's dad. What did Zuckerberg's dad do? He was like right there with him too, right? It was all those guys controlling the information. I need a raise for that. Yeah, I tried to get her to, for the YouTube, we put the one up on YouTube from 2 nights ago, and I tried to get her to timestamp the topics, and she was like 10 minutes in, and she was like, yeah, whatever, medical establishment, something, and then she's like, I don't even know I don't know. I mean, it made sense, but I don't even know what to say it was. Stop. No. You shut your mouth, Gus. His dad was not L. Ron Hubbard. Time out. If that happens, dude, no. She does need a raise, really. All right, let's do this real fast. See if anybody can confirm this before Gus has to be tugging my leg. He has to be. You have to be. And now I'm wasting time on this live chasing your rabbit down this hole. If this is true and I didn't know it, I'm going to fire myself tonight as a conspiracy theorist. That's what's going to happen. Or at least discipline myself. I kid? Oh, you kid. Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. All right. So yeah, maybe I'll edit that whole swatch out. So let's just go through this from a chronological order, and as quickly as I can, because I got to take a melatonin. Do you guys take melatonin? It's good. The one from Trader Joe's I really like. I can tell Augustus. Yeah, I can. It's in love. What are you supposed to say? Oh, face? You shut your face? What are you supposed to say where you're not, like, actually threatened? You shut your pretty mouth? I don't know. Something. Anyways, I repent. So, you're born through C-section. Vaxxed to the nines. Oh. I want to show you guys this. This is a little sneak peek in a video that I'm working on. You know what's really hard? It's good. I do one every night. I'm totally dependent on it, which sucks. My wife's like, your body's gonna stop making it. You're gonna be dependent on it. I'm like, you're smart. Okay, this is a video it's in my queue of videos I plan to make. I need a life coach. You guys are gonna love this. Can you read backwards? Past CDC directors and administrators. Okay? This is the one we want to look at. This is a lady named Julie Gerberding. Anybody heard the name Julie Gerberding? I feel like I mentioned her on one of these lives. You want to see how this vaccine, the VAX thing, became what it became? Look at those dates, 2002 to 2009. Okay? So this individual, this handsome woman, was the director of the CDC from 2002 to 2009. Okay? From 2002, this is the schedule. This is the schedule in 2001 of vaccines. Okay? Yeah, you just need to thank God you didn't. We can count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, there it isn't. It's about 24, something like that, okay? This is the one after her. Okay? We went from, I could do the numbers, but 15, 17, 20 to 50, right? 2.5, 3.5, 3 times, whatever. Some huge increase. She's not with the CDC anymore. She left the CDC to take a job as the Executive Vice President and Chief Patent Officer, Strategic Communications, Global Public Policy, and Director of Population Health for Merck, Julie Gerberding. Okay? I mean, I may have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. Think about that. She was the person who literally directed the tripling of the vaccine schedule. She tripled it. From 20 to 60, let's just say. It's close. Give or take a few either way. And then she left. And now she's the head, executive vice president, and the head of population health. What do you think population health is? And we know about autism. We know about SIDS. We know about autoimmune conditions. I gotta be careful when I say this, because for all I know, we're all gonna live up here together in a commune that I'm building. God help us, please no. Very recently, last 3 days, Chloe and I were able to have our son play with 2 other little boys in the area. One is the son of somebody, and the other one is a grandson of somebody else. Doesn't matter. The grandson is 3, 4, and rides around in the stroller and is checked out. It's the saddest, scariest thing. He just gets glass, man. Oh, he's quiet. Oh, he's gone. And then this little boy who came and played with Asher was around Asher's age, a couple years older. Same thing. I mean, he was functioning, but you just watch our son and this boy, and there's a marked neurological difference, marked. And the boy was very effeminate, which is, it's a whole other conversation, but I'm sure he's had too much estrogen and too little testosterone, or something physiologic is going on, potentially related to this, gut bacteria, whatever. And they're just gone. And I just, dude, Hannaford's is our local grocery, and they have a lot of good organic food and gluten-free food, and the pharmacy's there, and there's a sign in the pharmacy, and it's like, we give inoculations, and it's like of mom and dad in front of the little girl, and I've got the picture on my phone, but I can't show you the picture because then I would lose the live. The baby's there though, and they're playing, and it's like, we offer immunizations, and Chloe can attest to this. She's got like blocks, and she's like, she's gone. She's got half eyes open, one like just totally gone. And I'm like, are they this blind to it that when they took a picture, like they weren't like, hey, let's get a healthy, vibrant looking baby to make people want to meet. They're like, there, it's like, this is what you're gonna get. And they're like, yeah, do it, sign me up. It sucks. Gotta love Hannaford's. Yeah, I like Hannaford's. Yeah, I like it. It's actually, back in Colorado we had Safeway and King Soopers, and King Soopers was pretty hood, especially the one on Evans and Clay that I grew up at. And Safeway was a little better. Obviously Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and they're all in every corner, whatever. Between Hannaford's and the places my wife's found online to get some food from, we're very well stocked up, and the pricing is comparable, slightly more maybe, but they do a good job. And yeah, it's crazy. One of the concerns we had moving up here was access to food, good food, healthy food, especially at the time I was on an elimination diet that was basically ground turkey and like one kind of vegetable. It was terrible. And we were really concerned we'd be able to get a good diverse group of organic food, and we can. And there's crappy food too, but it's good. We like it. I like Hands because it's a smaller chain. Yeah, it's just like, it's like the right size small. It's not like so small that you don't get anything, but it's not like Walmart, which is next door. So if you want Walmart, you get both of those. Okay, guys, we have chickenpox parting. Yeah, I mean, that seems like that might have been delayed. Like you sent that, and it just like took a long time to get here. Because we talked about a long time ago. But yeah, that's the way you want to do it. Like, that's the body's just like what Nicole just said. The body's designed. The immune system is wicked, like an absolute deadly assassin. And if our bodies are taken care of, and we get the right vitamins and minerals, and our gut bacteria is good, we'll beat everything, anything, all of it. I mean, what I said in my first video about the gut biome, all these industrial diseases, the C word and the B word, and all of these things, especially it's all from the gut. It's all from this gut situation. Oh, we buy from Crowd Cow, yeah. Yeah, Gus, we buy from Crowd Cow. My wife's been wanting to make a video on how good they are. They're great, nice people, really easy to work with, really good product, delivers right to the door. Then 100-degree weather, totally frozen still. But yeah, I want to get back to red meat and grass-fed cow. That would be good, but it's too much of an inflammatory for me, and it's too much of a food sensitivity. I had this over-permeability of the gut, a leaky gut, that was so wicked that everything that I was eating at the time, my immune system tagged as an invader because it was getting into my bloodstream. And everything that I was eating at the time, I still basically can't eat. I eat it, and I just like go into like food coma immediately. It's not raining, no, just windy. You're telling my stomach story. Yeah, well, Rich, we talked about that. Hold on one second, guys. I got a problem over here. Oh, I thought it was the black cat. All right, we're good. I've heard knocking on the door. It's just the wind. We have a black cat that wants to come hang out with me. I was going to let her in. Yeah, the inflammation thing. And something we're gonna have to talk about this more. Rich has had it too. Appendix out, right? We talked about that. And the appendix is the good storehouse. The storehouse is the good bacteria, which is God. I mourn the day. Sucks. I just feel like things could have been entirely different if I still had my appendix. But whatever. change that. Lamb or goat? I mean, I should try it for sure. We actually want to get goats. I wouldn't eat them, but I think that's the next step in our farm. Like cats, chickens, goats, right? Our trash guy wants to sell us goats, and he's like, $200 for the pair, 125 for the male and 75 for the female, or vice versa. I'm like, well, what do you do with a goat? Like, oh, I got a goat. I don't want to eat him. Imagine my ass out there trying to kill a goat. Nightmare. Skin it or whatever. No way. There's no way I would do that. He's like, well, you could. They're pack animals, so you could take them hiking. I was like, imagining me and Chloe and our son in the Tigawon with 2 goat heads sticking out, going on a hike so they can carry our backpack. Just like I don't think we're there yet, and I don't know how to make cheese. So, yeah, A2 dairy is much less, and that's good information from a 19-year-old wise young man. You can eat lamb without. Yeah, I need to get on it. Yeah, I'm not anti-eating it. I mean, a little bit like kind of the conversation we had the other day about the lamb. I feel like there's a connection to the lamb. They're super innocent, but it goes for all animals other than this really wild black cat that we have. Beef. Yeah, she said it did. Red meat did. And again, Nicole, if you haven't thought about this, and I could be totally wrong, but this is it preaches anyways. What if we have an issue with red meat? No, but I'd like to build a commune. Nicole, are you here? I'm sure I think you are. Just let me throw a theory out there. I'm working on it still. I need to Google it to confirm it, because I can't test it myself. But I rather think that celiac disease, dairy intolerance, and probably the red meat causing inflammation are all us missing. Imagine, let's just say for numbers' sake, there's 100 different kinds of gut bacteria, which I think there's billions, but imagine if you have all 100, the full smorgasbord. You can eat anything, like a goat. You can eat anything. And if you're missing like numbers 1, 7, 11, and 15, you have a dairy allergy and lactose intolerance and red meat or whatever, right? What if it's like specific to an thing? And I'll end on this, just because it's the grossest, worst thing I could ever talk about. Sam, I expect you to look into this if you haven't. I think it's the future of medicine. FMT. F as in fecal, M as in matter, T as in transplant. Terrible, gross process. But it's a way to get healthy bacteria. You can get a donor of healthy bacteria into your system, and it works. And there's people that are reversing all kinds of things, MS, autoimmunity, whatever, because they're actually able to get that gut bacteria. Because imagine this, right? Imagine if you have, this kind of goes back, maybe I'll edit out that whole section. Deficient in lactobacillus. Yeah, so do you get the, I think we might have talked about this, Dr. Group's Floratrex? I bet you do. Because there was a while there for me, yeah, that was, when I got on that, I immediately was better. Like, I was having this crazy, this is years ago when I first started this health journey, I was having all this acid reflux. I took the Floratrex, and yeah, went immediately, fixed things. They made it as a joke, but I think it's a solid idea. Are you talking about the FMT? Because if so, it's not a joke. It's actually Chinese. Yep, 100%. So the Chinese used to. This one just went straight off the rails. I hope this lady that I'm going to show this YouTube video to try and help her doesn't go to this extreme, at least without diligent research. But the Chinese used to have a condition that translated was death by diarrhea. It was just, and it wasn't that they died by diarrhea, it was that they had the diarrhea, and it was just because they had IBS and deficient gut microbiome. And so they would mix up and drink it. Healthy gut microbiome. You can imagine where that came from. And it would cure the death by diarrhea. So by reinstituting, by retransplanting healthy fecal matter that the bacteria is still in, into the person with the unhealthy bowels. It fixed them. It's a thing. There's a way to do it where you don't ingest it orally. You ingest it the other side. And you let it sit in there for 24 hours and you adopt their gut microbiome. So it's gross, but it's, do some research on it. Like, there are people reversing all kind of things. It could very much be the future of medicine. How funny would that be? How funny would it be, and I'll close on this, that we're in a medical establishment that's entirely sterile, right? With trying to sterilize everything and putting thimerosal and the VX, and they have these like urgent, ICU areas that are totally sterile, but they've bred these super antibiotic resistant bugs, and they're trying to give you all these things orally to just go in and reconfigure your body or whatever. And the answer the whole time was like, if you're not feeling well, eat poop. Oh, it's off the rails. It's off the rails. I don't know where the cat went. My wife wants me to show you the cat, but she's somewhere else. Yeah, send it. Yeah, freeze it, send it. I'll make a video. So if you're having an issue, they want your wife's shit and blend it really good. Yep. Yep. That's the idea. But if you were to do that, I mean, you want to talk about a real effective way to get a bloodborne pathogen, that would do it. Hep B, AIDS, whatever. It is healing people, yeah. It's a real deal. Like, look, I'm going to close on this again. If your body doesn't fix it, you're fucked. That's it. I'm going to make a t-shirt that says that. If your body doesn't fix it, you're fucked. That's it. That's it. Doctors can't do anything. Can't do anything. They can set your bone, but they can't make it heal. Right? So the only thing they can really do is if your bone is broken, because it's going to grow back wonky, is put it in a cast. If your tooth is a cavity, they're going to rip it out. They can pull things out. If you had a tumor, they can pull it out. That's it. That's it. That's all they can do. It's your body that does all of it. It's your amazing, designed by God, immune system that does all of it. And it's capable of doing all of it. That's why I keep tagging Be Positive in my videos. I'd go check him out. He kind of is a little spammy. He's on quite a bit. Maybe like a little more than I would like just for my page, whatever. That's just a minor critique. But he's a life coach and he's all over it. And what pulled me into his channel is he said that your body is a self-healing organism. And all you got to do is equip it to heal itself. Make sure the alternator's working, right? That's the thing. But if that was the case, if you take care of your body and you meditate and you chew your food and you spend time being grateful for your food and you eat the right food and you exercise, some bullshit sedentary job, and you actually work with your hands in the field and you get sun on your back and your body has to control your climate because you're not in 70 degrees air conditioned all the time, and you have this idea that you don't have to live in fear of everything that the medical establishment is going to heal you from. Right? One last fired up for the night. If you didn't live a life where you sat in an air-conditioned room, where your heart rate never breached 80, where you didn't sit there and just pound McDonald's and soda all day, and never be in the sun, and never have to regulate your body temperature, never have to lift a thing more than... on the jobs, can you lift 50 pounds? No? Well, good luck. Whatever, it's fine. 50 pounds is heavy. That was critical. It's just, my point is, like, everybody should be able to lift 50 pounds if they needed to. That's a bag of dog food. You should be able to. And, I mean, obviously you can't... When I say everybody, there's people that are disabled, have their legs, they stepped on a landmine, really bad things have happened, they're crippled, scoliosis. Like, I'm not saying everybody, but the vast majority of us should be able to do that. Shouldn't even have to be a question. Like, you know you've got a problem societally when the doctor has to say that you can't have this drug if you're not healthy enough to have sex. Like, at that point right there, you're in trouble. It's fine, whatever. I'm just saying, you guys, we gotta breathe like what Rich Flood does. You gotta breathe. You gotta work. Life's a struggle. Like, imagine this. You're gonna have X amount of struggle in your life. There's a number. 100. I like to use that number tonight. You're gonna have 100 struggle in your life. No matter what. That's just what it is. Entropy. Whatever. So if your job is real easy and you just sit on your ass all day, that trouble is gonna catch you some other way. Your health is going to fail. You're going to stress yourself out of your mind. You're going to be bored and get into being alcoholic or something. Like, there's X amount of struggle in life. And I don't know that empirically, right? I don't know that, but that's my guess, is there's X amount of struggle. And if the struggle is physical work and you're using your muscles and you're sweating and it's hard and you're having to make sure your body stays cool or be hot, then you're going to sleep well. And you're going to want to have the cravings for the right food. And you're going to want, like, it's just going to be a feedback loop, right? And that's how people live for thousands of years. And now we've got this totally repurposed reality. And people are sick, and it's not a big fucking surprise. And meanwhile, the medical establishment says they've got the cure, and they don't. You've got a fire, and they've got gasoline. All right, I think I'm going to get out of here, guys. Rapture discussion. Yeah, I'm trying to get on with CPT. You sent him that message. Love the guy. I text him, he texts me back right away, sends 6 texts, and then I don't hear from him for a week. And then he puts me in a video, and I respond, he replies right away, and then I say, let's do it live, and I don't hear from him for a week. So he's busy, he's got a business. I'm trying to not get in his way, because that man is on fire. Like, again, none of us are always right. That's just what it is. But he's getting some information. If you saw his video where he was going, way, or whatever, the breathing. I'm a musician, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like worshiping God. And it's just a video he made. Like, the guy's on fire, and I don't want to be like, hey man, come on my live and I'll talk over you the whole time and talk about vaccines and shit. Like, whenever God calls him to be ready, we'll be ready. Him and I have discussed it off camera, on camera. We're both post-trib, but we're both hopeful pre-trib. And we need to really have that discussion. And when we do, you guys gotta hold me accountable. I gotta let him talk, man. So stupid, I just talk over everybody. Oh yeah, so tomorrow's with Kai. Off Friday, yep. So that's this week pretty much. We observe Sabbath, exactly. Yeah, it is. And he's just busy, and it's awesome. See, Gus? Yeah, right? It's crazy. It's really good breathing. I don't know, really, yeah, I think we are. I mean, that's where him and I were at, but we're not like dogmatically post-trib. That's why we had the discussion last time. I didn't want to get into it too much. It's more like what I've read, what I am in my spirit, but I want it to be pre, and I can see how it can be interpreted to be pre. So I think we're both, like, we think that it's at the end, and we're all suffering it, and then we get to go be with him at the end. But we're all hoping it's the beginning. His last video said that. Yeah, hopeful pre-trib, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Watch some videos. I mean, really, for that kind of thing, I try to not get interpretations, copies of copies. It's all you're going to get. We got to be careful. Bias is a real thing, and if you like the person or you don't like the person, it's going to determine how much you buy into their thing. And if you like the person, they could be wrong, and you're like, that's the best thing I've ever heard, 100%. So with scripture, I mean, I'm a big advocate of just go to the book, pray before you read it, try and disseminate it, and then if you can't get the answer, if you're like, I can't understand it, then go to someone you trust for sure. Yeah, we're not appointed. Yeah, I'm exactly with you, Nicole. Again, I'm exactly with you, but it's mostly based on intuition and my reading of it years ago. And honestly, and then I'll close on this. Honestly, it's because I read the late great Planet Earth and under Hal Lindsey, and I used to watch those episodes. And I was a big pre-trib, a big pre-trib. That was me trying to read and talk pre-trib rapture guy. And I mean, my family, dude. This is how long I've been in this game. Okay, in 1993, we thought the end was in 93. I was young, 17, 16, 15, 16 actually. I gotta show you pictures of back then. And my mom had interpreted it. and I think Hal Lindsey was involved, and we all bought in, and we sold everything we had. And we got in a Volkswagen van, a 67 split window Volkswagen bus, and we drove to the Redwood Forest to go be in the Redwood Forest when Jesus came. And the bus broke down in Glenwood Springs because God had a different plan, and even though we make mistakes, He's good. And my rich cousin in Vail towed us back to Colorado, and we still had our house, and we didn't need all the dumb shit we sold anyways, and we started over, and now here I am. That was 93. And I will never forget the night. It was Rosh Hashanah 1993. And I was in the bus, and this was the night. And we were trying to figure out when it turned night in Israel. I'm sorry if this is a crazy story. Hopefully I don't lose you guys on this, but I was 15, 16. I didn't know any better. And why I don't want to start a compound. So that night I was like waiting to see if Jesus came, and He didn't come all night, and I didn't sleep very much. And in the morning I was really despondent. You know, it was like, is Jesus not real? Is the end not coming, or did we screw it up? Well, you know my takeaway. That was our mistake. And I haven't put a date on it since. And I've got a really close family member who does constantly, and we've been through another 6, 8, 10 fire drills. And, you know, it was going through that, and then it was a couple scriptures that I read, and I was like, oh my gosh, it is post-trib. Wow, well, that takes the pressure off. And then, in full transparency, I try and be, you know, as full disclosure as possible. Kent Hovind, who I'm still a fan of, I don't love everything he does, but I think that, I mean, go watch Kent Hovind in 04 and just marvel at the wonder of what that guy was doing 20 years ago. Unbelievable. My wife just texted me shit, that's not good. I'll wrap this up. So he came out, he was pre-trib, he went into prison, and he spent 8 years in prison for nothing, for some erroneous charge because he threatened the system with revealing the truth and winning people to God or whatever. Super dynamic. And while he was in prison, he fully embraced post-trib, and he said I was wrong. And so he came out and he mentioned it, and it was a confirmation for me. That's why I said the confirmation bias thing. That's actually why I said what I said, which is if you believe the guy, you're going to buy into it more. And he read a couple scriptures. Now, yeah, that just confirms it for me. And that's where I was at, and that's kind of where I've been at. And then you mentioned it the other day, and I go, I got to find scripture, and we read one. It wasn't what I was thinking. So, like, yeah, that's why I still want to have that discussion with you and CPT and everybody and just see, because I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong. I had a dream when I was a child that Jesus Christ, there was a meteor. I was like 6, and I was in downtown Denver, and a meteor came over, and we all went, oh my God, what was that? And people were yelling, it's Jesus. And I just was like, Jesus is here. I was too young to even know what it was. Doesn't really disclose if it was pre-trib or post-trib, but I can tell you this, I wasn't really a believer at the time, so whatever, take that for what it's worth. Alright guys, that is it. Let's look here. We are to look at changes in the season. Yeah, be prepared, totally. Get your lamp set, right? It doesn't say guess the date and wear this certain apparel and jump on your foot. It says be ready for your husband. Like, be ready for the bridegroom. Be an attractive wife. Don't blow it. That's what it says. So, yeah, be ready. And if you're pre-trib, you really don't want to blow it, because then you're like, oh, my friends, they all left. And now I got to be here. To be open-minded, be prepared for the worst, have food, yeah. Indoctrinated, yep. Okay, we have to get into another time, enjoy our family. Just be ready, yep. Alright, guys. I appreciate you so much. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow, as of now, Kai's also a little flighty. It's like these guys didn't quit their job to do this. It's like they have jobs and they do this. Who would do that? So, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, what you said. Yeah, we'll get it set down as soon as CPT can confirm it. So yeah, 8 o'clock tomorrow, Thursday night in the Matrix with Kai. We're gonna get more into the simulation stuff, more philosophy. It should be good. Quitting, yeah, do it. Let's do it. Let's all quit. I got a place we can all stay. Love you guys. Have a good night. Thank you again for being here.